All right. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's very cool that you're doing this. Let's get you introduced for some of the crowds. We don't have a major crowd here, but it could be nice for people to know who you guys are. So why don't you give us a little intro about who Tesla stars and who Tesla Al is?
Okay, start. Go on. Okay, I start. Um, so my name is Guillaume Casteller. I am a Frenchman, and I opened the Tesla Stars account in December 2018 when I ordered my Tesla Model 3, and I've been tweeting about Tesla before that with my other account, but a lot more with this one. And what should I say? I got interested into EVs back in 2006 when they Tesla unveiled the Roadster, and then I test drove Citroën C0 EV, not C0, Citroën Saxo in 2008. And well, even if it was just a small car, small battery, 80 kilometers range, and not much power, it was so much better than any fossil car equivalent. So I knew that EVs were the future back then. So maybe Romain, you can.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. It's
Okay.
the louder you can be, the better, but it's fine.
Okay, great. So I'm Tessa Owls, also known as Romain. I'm a software developer, so I guess got interested in Tesla a lot for the tech, obviously, and yeah, I learned about Tesla as well as SpaceX in 2016, and well, at first it was like, okay, so this guy Elon Musk, he does both. Okay, and he did PayPal. Okay, I'm gonna look into that because that sounds pretty insane. And it was insane, and I loved it. And I loved Tesla in particular, the mission, and yeah, so I quickly knew, well, in 2016 that I would get someday a Model 3. Like, that was just obvious. It had to be a Model 3 someday. And I couldn't wait, so I bought in 2019, I bought a Renault Zoe, an old Renault Zoe, and it was great. But then I finally switched in 2021 this year to a Model 3 SR Plus. And that's about it.
Nice, nice, very cool. So, how do you pronounce your name? I didn't get that. Could you help me with that, please?
You know Julius Caesar? The Romans?
Yes.
Well, Roman is great.
Roman, that works.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, nice to meet you. So it's not. It's the pronunciation is not that easy for us non-French, but do forgive me if I just mispronounce it. Just be patient with me. It sounds like you've both had an interesting journey from EVs into Teslas, and then from a software. You go from that to this crazy race. I mean, what is it you guys are doing? We've been tracking you for 70 hours across the Twitter world. Half of the Tesla Twitter community has been on this. What on earth are you guys up to? What was the background, and what is this?
Okay, so it's a crazy idea, and initially it was mine, but Romain agreed immediately. The thing is, the climate change, if we zoom out back, why are we doing that? It's to remove climate change, or to be able to fight climate change, which is the biggest threat humanity has ever faced. And unfortunately, so many people are not aware of it, or don't want to face the reality. So whenever there is a solution that can help prevent the acceleration of climate change, there are always deniers that say it's not possible, it's not going to work, and so on. So one thing is was solar panels, for instance, and now it's EVs, and EVs are so much better than their fossil cars equivalent. It's not even close. It's really crazy. They are so much better in almost every way. And when people say, yeah, but you can't travel far in an electric car, well, now we can prove them that it's possible. We can travel far and fast, because obviously people know that you can charge a car at home in 12 hours, and but they say, well, I'm not going to travel 200 kilometers and charge for 12 hours. So that's the idea. It was triggered by the EV Lightning run that was made by Trevor Page and Jan Pavelko last year in March.
Yeah.
And we followed them live during the 3 days, and it was really, really intense, really interesting. And immediately we knew that we wanted to do that the same, and we were
Very
ready
cool.
to do that maybe next month. But then some virus came, and plans have been postponed ever since. So if you go back into my tweeting activity, you look for NotCap, you can find a few hints. A long time ago, I was interested in this place. So yeah. So
It's interesting.
regarding the run in itself, so why is it called Cannonball? The Cannonball is a North American tradition. Born in 1970 or 71, so right around when I was born, to cross the country in the fastest possible time, regardless of the speed limits, which were just brand new at the time. So it was a way to oppose the speed limits, saying, we don't care about your speed limits, we're going to do that. So now the record is something like 25 hours to cross the US, Los Angeles to New York. That's about 200 kilometers per hour average speed, and top speeds of above 300. So this has become completely nuts, and we don't endorse that. We don't.
You're breaking up, guys. Go again if you can hear us.
We do like speed when it's legal, and so we sped a bit in Germany. And apparently there was some misinterpretation by the German cops, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, so the idea was to find the longest possible route to cross Europe. That made sense. Like there is no coast-to-coast route in Europe, because the coast is west, and in the east you have Russia. So there is no well-known coast on the east side. So Cape North was obvious, because that's the end of Europe on the north side, and on the south side you have Tarifa. So a few electric cars already did the Tarifa NotCap route, but their aim, and there is a Guinness World Record. Their aim is to minimize the number of the time spent charging. So that was it. But the run that was made in 2017, I think, was 96 hours total. So
96.
So in
wow.
A few years,
and what are you clocking in?
We're gonna clock about 71. Just below
wow.
71. Because
that's massive.
Right now we should arrive just before 8 p.m. And we left at 8 p.m. in Portugal, in Cape Saint-Vincent, but there is 1 hour difference. So that's why it's not going to be 72, it's going to be 71, because it's only 1 hour. There is 1 hour time difference. So
that's amazing. But tell me about the concept. I mean, you've had this banner. It's 9 countries, 6,000 kilometers. What about the route? What went into the planning? Because you've made a homepage for this. There's been flyers. There's been banners. How was the build up? Like, how have you been planning this? One thing is you saw Trevor and the guys, but what was going into the preparation of this?
You overestimate our ability to prepare stuff. We just knew we wanted to, well, do like those two Canadians did, Ian and Trevor. And we knew where we'd start,
Yeah.
and we knew where we'd end.
Yeah.
And then, like a week before, no, like the planning, we checked
Yeah.
the new chargers because we needed back then a couple chargers up north. The ones we just hit like 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Those were like mandatory.
Yeah.
And they didn't exist last year when we planned the trip.
So we checked that.
Okay.
But other than that,
Yeah.
the rest is just you get in the car, you ask it to go to Cape North, and it tells you where to stop. So the planning was very limited, and then the banners and everything else is about a week old, maybe 10 days old.
Yeah. Well, I had that in mind for 18 months, but I didn't want to start preparing until it was becoming real. So no, that's
The banner took 3 hours to make.
yeah. But anyway, the thing is, we were ready to go right away, but the virus hit, and then we didn't know when it was going to be possible to do the trip. And especially during your pandemics, we asked ourselves, is it reasonable to do that during the pandemics and so on? But we are both vaccinated. Lots of people are vaccinated. We just came from Sweden. There's no one has a mask. They are all, well, they are either vaccinated or they don't. I don't know if they go out or whatever. But anyway, we were controlled only 3 times. There were 3 stops at the borders. At the French border, they didn't stop us. At the Danish border, they stopped us.
Yeah.
They asked us for the ID and the COVID pass, and then asked where we're going. So we said we're going to Cape North, coming from Portugal.
And where did you come from?
In 3 days, and we explained. We gave the flyer, and
we made him laugh. We made him giggle.
I think he said, "Okay, that case is you can go," and he said, "Okay, good luck." And we were stopped just today at the Finnish border, and we were asked for IDs and COVID pass, and that's it. So that was really easy. During those 3 days, we didn't have really not a lot of interactions with people, so we didn't spread the virus, and we didn't get it.
How do you do food? Do you buy food when you're supercharging? Have you stacked up the car with food before getting off?
Yeah.
What's your routine at this stage?
We bought a lot of fruits.
Yeah,
we bought probably a few kilos of fruits.
Yeah, we are bringing to North Cape lots of fruits that were bought in Cape Saint-Vincent, and we didn't eat all of them because basically we were focused on the drive and so on. So we ate a banana here and there, kiwi, but we didn't eat a lot. And so we have plenty of fruit available. So if you want, you just drive to North Cape and we can share with you.
That Burger King is a very usual thing to find to superchargers.
Yeah.
So it's very tempting.
Yes.
Probably not that healthy, but every now and then it's helpful.
No. So, and how about sleep? Are you taking turns driving and sleeping? How have you done it?
Just to precise, Romain ate at Burger King, but I didn't.
Oh, we lost you there. Hello. I think we've lost the guys, Jess. Can you hear them, or is it only me? Jessica, can you hear them? Guillaume? Can somebody only just give me an emoji just to know that I'm still in the app and it's working? One emoji, please, would be awesome. Hello?
Adam, why don't we take our first caller until they're back?
Do we have a caller?
Yes, we do.
I can't even see it.
Most of it. So we arrived in Paris just after. We arrived in Paris
they're
just after
They're back.
the big traffic jams. And
Yeah. Guys, can you hear us? Can you hear
yes,
us?
yes, sure.
Yeah, we lost you after Fruit and Burger King. We haven't
Oh my
heard after Burger King.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Sleeping is really tough,
yeah.
and
Sleeping is the hardest part.
I would recommend to anyone who wants to try such a stupid trip to go with 3 people. Like 2 people is not enough. It's pretty risky. You gotta sleep like crazy.
Well, basically, if we didn't have autopilot,
Yeah.
we might have ended in an accident because
Oh, wow.
Roman and I, we both fell asleep, for a few seconds, a few times,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
with autopilot, it's not an issue because you fall asleep for a few seconds, the car is straight and is keeping the distance, and then you wake up and you say, "Oh, where am I?" Okay,
I don't think I fell asleep.
well, just a few
I
seconds.
was.
But,
I don't think I did, but I was.
Yeah, it just shows that it's a dangerous journey, but the safety features of Tesla actually does save
well,
lives.
it's really life-saving features. So
Yes.
we
But we obviously don't encourage anybody to do that, just for
No, that's why
liability's sake here.
Yeah, going with only 2 people is insane. Like, don't do it.
yeah,
Don't
but
do it.
to be
Yeah.
honest, I already did that 25 years ago.
Yeah.
But we did the same again. 25 years ago, I drove Washington, D.C. to Key West, Florida, 4 days
Yeah.
round trip. So
Wow.
Thanksgiving weekend,
Wow.
with a friend, we wanted to go to Florida for the weekend, and every
Yeah.
plane was booked. So we took my car, a Geo Metro, so that's a Suzuki Swift, small car, no
Yeah.
cruise control, and we drove. We slept in the car for the first night and the last night, and we slept at hotels the 2 nights in between. But it was really hard. But it was it's one of the best road trips I ever made. We stayed 1.5 hours in Key West. We drove 2,000 kilometers, stayed 1.5 hours, and went back. But still, we stopped 4 hours in Miami on the way. We stopped in Charleston, Georgia, and
So what you're saying is that this might not be the next one you do, or do you need another 25 years for another cannonball race?
I'm not sure. This one was much harder.
Really?
Much harder because
Yeah.
in the previous one it wasn't a cannonball. It was just we're going on weekend, and the only way is to drive. There is no train in the US and no plane available. So we did that. But
Yeah.
this one, the cannonball, is really hard. So
Yeah. But how about charging? Do you just do whatever the car is asking you to, or are you sometimes speculating and charging more or less and trying to sort of outplay the navigation system? Are you checking out and comparing Tesla's navigation with a better route planner or other services, or
Yeah.
are you simply following it, or are you calculating kilowatts and elevations and winds and a whole host of different variables?
No.
We checked the wing.
Yeah, we checked the wind
times.
because you want to.
Well, the beginning was I don't know, so many factors to take into account, and speed is the main one, but cold, like at some point, it's 5 degrees now, 5 C. You have to account for that.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
okay, so one big aspect of the trip was that we try not to exceed the speed limits, like, if possible, ever, but that's not possible.
Well, the aim was
only for safety.
Was above 99% of the time we want to respect the speed limit and only overspeed when overtaking for safety purpose. And obviously, in Germany there is no speed limit in some sections. So there we allowed ourselves to drive like Germans do, and so we hit the top speed of the Model 3. But that's not the most efficient way to travel.
So charges usually we take
No.
like 10%, a 10% margin.
Yeah.
because we're two in the car, it's cold. We're driving the speed limit, which helps with the planning. And we have some stuff in the car. So 10% was pretty good most of the time. Sometimes it wasn't enough. And so we end up like driving cautiously in the end, trying to optimize it as much as possible.
And how far would you typically charge the battery up? 40%, 60%? How much before the next one?
We've done about everything from 30 to 80 to 80. From 80 max, I think.
80 max, of course, because after 80 it takes the same time than from 0 to 80. But well, the idea was to show that you are somewhere, you want to go somewhere, you type the address, and the Tesla will drive you there. Other EVs are doing that now, but some don't have it. So you need to manually do calculations and so on, like a ninja, like you is doing. But we are not the ninja level of Björn Nyland, so.
A better route planner is super helpful.
We used to prepare the trip before we were in Cape Saint-Vincent. We used a better route planner, and then at Cape Saint-Vincent, we just say go to North Cap, and it planted the route.
Yes, and it took a while, by the way. Yeah. It takes a few minutes to plot the
well, less than a minute. And the thing is, now that we are experienced EV drivers, we know the cars pretty well. Romain and I, we already have been down to 0%. And it's the fear. People fear range anxiety. They say, "Oh, if I go down to 0, I'm gonna, end up on the side of the road." The thing is, it's much easier in an EV not to run out of juice. In a gas car, you have to guess how many liters are staying in the gas tank. In an EV, the consumption is precise. What remains in the battery is precise. So we on this run, we've done a couple of times. We went down to 1%. Once it was actually to gain time. So we skipped the charger on purpose to go to the next one, knowing that we would arrive with 0 or 1%. And the two other times we went to 0%, and it was on purpose. I was on the German highway driving 230 with the car saying stay below 120 if you want to arrive or you need charging. And I did that on purpose to drain the battery to arrive at 0%. And Roman did the same thing. By the way, we are seeing North Cap right now, the Cape North, and it's beautiful. Oh. It's incredible. The view that we have from here, it's I think it's worth the trip, definitely.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. But I want to hear something about Germany. Did you guys encounter some law enforcement in Germany? Is that correct?
I have no idea. I was sleeping. So.
It will be my version of the story.
Here we go.
No version.
My version of the story is that there are portions of the highway in Germany that are unlimited. Okay? And so you find yourself with a pretty good-looking car that goes 233 kilometers an hour, and you want to test it out. And so I was driving pretty fast. And, no, actually, I was driving 150.
It was at night, so nobody on the road. Almost
it was
just a few cars,
trucks. So I'm at 150 kilometers an hour, driving cautiously, and I see a pretty good-looking car, a Mercedes AMG or something, in my.
Oh, you turned robots.
Yeah, let's give them a minute to come back. We need to hear that story. We need to. They're probably telling the story right now. We just can't hear them.
Yes, and they're laughing at each other. Yes. We want to laugh with them. I can't believe they made it up there. It should be any minute now. It's quite the journey.
Yeah, I'm watching them. They're really close.
Yeah.
I think they're coming back.
Guys, are you back?
Yeah, we're back. Sorry, but
Okay.
we didn't
You
plan.
you dropped off at you were driving a 150. You saw Mercedes.
Yeah, okay, good. I saw Mercedes, and I thought the guy probably wants to play. And I say play, you get it. Like
It's a kid. It's 25 years
yeah,
old.
I'm 23. I want to play. I want to play. Also, I'm thinking he wants to play. So I punched the accelerator, and he follows. And 200, he keeps following. And 230, he keeps following. At some point, I'm saying, okay, I've had enough. Maybe 30 seconds or so. I've had enough. Putting my hazard lights on and slowing down. He slows down too. Keeps following me at 150. Okay, weird. So I accelerate again, playing again. It's unlimited, it's legal, as far as I know. He follows me again. Then we hit a 120 zone, so I slow down, but I don't brake. I only used the regen. So it's 120, then 100, and then 80 kilometers an hour. So, and well, the punchline is obviously that was the cops. And so I see in my rear view lights that say "Stop, police" in red, which is pretty much the scariest thing you can see ever in your rear view, at least. Not the scary, yeah. Well, it's freaky. So okay, I get pulled over, and the guy just I'm sorry. The guy just asked, "What's wrong with you?" So I get
Oh my God.
wrong with me, why I drive like this, why I punch the accelerator so much. So I think the acceleration, he didn't like that. He didn't like it that the AMG had some trouble following up, I think. Also, it was a fun encounter, and
Well, at the end,
he didn't like, yeah, at the end, because he just let us go. Just checked our IDs.
Oh, you're breaking up.
That's it.
well,
So lucky strike.
not well. It was fun, but at one point, well, I was still sleepy, so I didn't understand much more. But at one point, I pictured my car impounded, and I didn't like the idea of that. And so, well, the funny part, it's the most ironic outcome is most likely. We are in Germany. It's unlimited speed. We get arrested for speeding. Just 150 kilometers per hour above the speed limit.
I wasn't at 230 in the 80 zone. I was maybe at 150 because the regen is not strong enough.
Okay. Anyway.
That will be my defense. It's not a good defense, but it will be mine.
But so I don't know what I was going to.
The ironic thing is
Yeah.
to get stopped for speeding in Germany, where you can legally go 233.
Yeah, but there is another thing. Is the cop asked us, "Where are you coming from?" Okay, from Portugal. Where are you going? North Cape. In 3 days. Why are you doing that? Why? But why are you doing that?
It's like, hey, good question, actually.
Why? And then I said, well, it's to showcase the fact that EVs, electric cars, can travel long distances in a short period of time. So that's what we're doing. Driving.
Oh, you're breaking up again, guys. You're breaking up again. Hello? Oh, I'm losing them. Can you hear them, Jess, or is it just me?
No, I cannot hear them.
When
Oh,
we-
they're coming back.
Guys.
They're
We
coming
have the
back.
proof, by the way. We have.
They have something.
Here. Is anybody home? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay.
You're good.
We'll soon arrive.
Yeah, because we are twisting the mountains and so on. So so he said, why are you doing that? So I explained that you can go fast in an EV, and we were driving at the legal speed when it's and when it's illegal, but when it's possible to go fast, then we do that. But and then we give him the flyer explaining why we are doing it, and it's written Cannonball. Cannonball is an illegal race in the US, exceeding the speed limit and so on. It's written all over the bumper, the rear bumper of the car, and it looks at the logo of, we have made a logo with the map of Europe and the drive that we are making. And he looks at the rear bumper, he sees that,
Yeah.
and then he comes back and say, "You can go now." And he gives us the driver license, ID card, and the car registration that he had taken. So we have no idea what happened. We have some German friends who told us hell froze over, because that's...
They told you what? Sorry, hell what?
Hell froze over.
Oh, yes. It needs to
That's what
happen.
he said.
Yeah, if you're getting
By
stopped
the way,
speeding in Germany.
while we're waiting for them to come back, I just checked the location. They're about 8 kilometers away from the North Cape. So about 8 more minutes.
Wow.
And they reached the finish line. Yes.
That's such an accomplishment. They might be working up the way in the mountains, which is just causing the reception to be a bit poor at the moment. We still get the story about...
You say...
Sorry, just what?
No, go ahead, sorry.
We still haven't had the story about the keys, the policeman and the car keys. That's what... Well, you can ask them too. It's... Let's see if they're back. 8 kilometers, so they're really close. It's amazing. They've driven really 6,000 kilometers and they're 8 away. That's just the very end, the very last moment. And what was it, 96 hours to 71? Was that? They're cutting the record with 25 hours. Such an impressive...
Something like that, yes.
Yeah. And with a Model 3 with V3 charging. And these guys haven't stopped. I mean, they've only stopped for charging, quite literally. I think that record is going to hold for quite some time, to be honest.
Yep, but not to be recommended to do that with just 2 people. So I totally support that. It's not worth it. Yes, you're back.
Hey, guys.
Great.
6 minutes to North Cape.
What did you hear?
Wow.
Where did we look?
We were wanting to hear about some car keys and a police officer. There was something about some car keys.
They asked you for your keys?
Yeah, no, I think they're very close, and they're working up the little bit last stretch.
Maybe they're too close.
What a journey! Like, imagine driving that far for such a short amount of time. I mean, you could.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, we are back, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
There was this car keys and police officer. What was that all about?
Well, that was what he started off with. He started off with turn off the engine. So there's no... He's like, I said put the car keys on the dashboard. It's like, sir, I swear, please, there is no car key. Where are the car keys? It's like, it's the phone. What is wrong with you? I was caught. The guy put on freaking blue lights and everything. Like, he gets angry because I'm not turning up the engine. It's electric, please. It's a Tesla, please.
Yeah.
So it tends to break the ice pretty well.
Yeah, that was
nice.
It's beautiful. He was really puzzled. And you could tell. But it seems like he was a nice guy, obviously, because
he really wanted to know why we were doing this and why I was driving and why. Just wanted to understand and why I didn't give him the keys, and he was just curious.
I was asleep. I was woken up by why are you doing this? And
Oh yes. Oh, guys, we would love to hear you. And they're so close. They have that reception. But the app has been very stable, at least. This is Bergmal. I still can't see the caller queues. If you have anybody, just feel free.
Why in Germany they would stop us for driving any speed because it's unlimited. So, well, I know obviously it's not unlimited. It's what I understood is that you are allowed to drive at a speed that is safe. Okay, so the definition of safe is different in Germany than in other countries. But obviously, I don't know. Can you hear me now? Okay, so
Yes.
joke aside, I felt much safer in Germany with people driving 250 around me than I was and when I was driving 200 or 230, I felt much safer than when I was driving in Napoli, in Italy, a few weeks ago. When I was driving the speed limit on the right lane, I really thought we would be hit by cars maybe 10 times. They really are driving like crazy there, and they think they are race car drivers, but they are just stupid. I love Italy. It's one of my favorite countries in the world, but the way they drive is completely stupid. It has no point. You don't arrive earlier. You gain maybe 1 minute or so, but it's really crazy. It seems we are in advance. We should be arriving in 1 minute at the parking lot.
I drove like I was in Germany.
No, we have the footage.
1 minute away.
Okay, so we see the parking lot. Okay.
I see you guys are still driving with 80 kilometers an hour. Maybe you should start slowing down now.
Yeah, just to
Damn, you're good. Damn, you're good. Just as I saw the speed sign, you're good.
See,
so
I'm watching you.
Back there. So we explained what we're going to do because we started at Cape Saint-Vincent. We at the statue of Saint Vincent, and now. C'est là. Oh, there's no.
Oh, there it is.
Good. Okay. Down to 20.
Yeah. So we are entering. So we will park the car and then run to the globe. You know, the big sculpture of the globe. Because we started by foot, like a Le Mans race. Drivers start your engine. So we ran to the car. And funny thing is, we started the car, and we end up in a traffic jam because everyone was there to watch the sunset.
The video is great because it looks like we're going like super fast.
No, it's a cannonball run. We're gonna go. What
it's
are you
30.
doing?
I don't want to damage your car.
Thank you. But
look at that.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna leave you now. We come back in a few minutes. Okay.
See you.
Okay.
Okay, bye guys.
Well, have you checked out their homepage?
I tweeted it out a few times, so if you go to my Twitter, I actually just posted the last screenshot before they arrived at the North Cape on my Twitter. What are they doing? Oh, they're running.
I think I'm gonna force mute him. I think. Yeah, they are literally.
Maybe no, don't mute them. Let's listen in.
Okay.
I think you're
because they're running. Yes, we are with you.
Go.
And you're running fast. I see you running with 15 kilometers an hour. That's pretty good.
Okay. That's it.
Okay, you're there. I see it.
That's it.
Yay!
So,
congratulations!
Are you there?
Yes! Woo!
We are here. Don't go any further.
As long as they didn't jump off the cliff, we'll be good.
No. I'm still watching them.
What a journey. These guys are crazy.
Yes, they are crazy. And what a story with the German police. Oh, it's hilarious.
I really actually like the web page. It's really nice to be able to track them, and you can just scroll from one meal to another and from one supercharger to another.
Yes. Yeah, I highly recommend checking their website. If you check my Twitter feed, you should see all the links. And make sure to give them a follow.
Yeah. It's quite a journey in a short amount of time, but essentially they haven't been sleeping since Wednesday. They've been on the road and
oh my God,
they just touched it. I'm wondering if it could become like let's just imagine a COVID-free world in a year or two. It could be a race that a lot of people do. Just get an EV and cross from one end of Europe to the other. And instead of 3-day race, let's say you make it a week, then you have time to stop in a few cities and party and have some landscape and natural. It could be a nice 1 week trip if we get like let's say 100 cars, 200 cars, 300 cars. That could be a fun trip.
So how long did it take for them?
I think he said 71 hours because they started at 8 o'clock 3 days ago, and that's 1 hour time difference. So yeah, it should be.
That's like 3 days
of non-driving. So if you want to parse that out, it's 72 hours of driving. So if you do that over a week, it's about 7 hours of driving a day, and that's okay. Then you still have time to sleep, and you still have 6-7 hours to enjoy life every day. That could work.
So is there accommodation up there, or do they have to drive back like a long way?
They are driving back, but they're going via Trondheim and Bergen, and I think it's holiday mode.
No, but I mean today.
Yeah, they're going to. I think they're going to Honningsvåg afterwards. So they're getting accommodation, and there was a spa and a place to shower and get a. I think they're exhausted, to be honest. I think.
It must be dark up there, right?
Yeah. Let me just think. No, it's summer here in Norway, so it will be light. It will be. There's no darkness during summer up there.
But it's not summer anymore. It's September, right?
Yeah, but I suspect that it's. Even now in Oslo, it's a little bit dark, but it's still daylight outside. There's no, yeah.
Okay.
But I think the plan is to head south, and from now on it's holiday mode, and they're going to drive.
I hope so. Yes.
Yeah,
oh
I think they're taking 2 days rest, and then they're starting heading south, and they're going to go instead of via Sweden on the highway, they're going to do the coastal roads of Norway, and then go down to Bergen, and then eventually come by Oslo as well. So.
They must be so exhausted.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. Yeah.
And just think about it. I mean, they've passed through and zoomed through 9 countries, and essentially, other than superchargers and an angry German police officer, who turned out to be nice, they haven't had time to get out there and enjoy the scenery and the food, I guess.
So maybe we should ask them, but. Were they using superchargers exclusively, or okay?
Yes, exclusively.
I wonder what their average consumption was. We need to ask them that.
Ooh, guess. Let's do a guess. What do you think?
Ooh. So you said 6,000 kilometers?
Yeah. Mostly highway, I would guess. Yeah.
So in 70 hours, I would say. So first it was probably hot down in Portugal, and then it got cold. So
exactly.
They might have like an average temperature of around 15 degrees. I would guess...
Less. It's 5 degrees where they are now, right?
I think it really depends on how long they were going fast in Germany. That will make a huge difference.
Yeah.
So I say 190.
Ooh. Yeah, I was actually thinking 188. That was my guess, but
188, and I say 190. Okay. So if we have anybody who would like to give us their guesses, just join the caller list, and we'll take a note.
Yeah, if somebody's done some really cross-European trips on a Model 3, they will probably be the best qualified. Guillaume says they can hear us. Let me see.
We cannot hear them. I mean, at least I cannot.
Hello? Let's try to speak now. He says we're still available. Let me see. I'm going to promote him to moderator and see if that helps. Because I did try to force mute when he was running. And I don't know if I permanently mute him. Can you say something?
Or they should leave and join back in.
They could also do that. Could be my fault because I force muted him and that wasn't a permanent function or not a.
No, I don't see them muted.
No, me neither. I don't know. He says they can hear us.
They should restart the app.
Yeah, maybe
Might be a
that's.
bot. Just kill the app and come back in. I will send them an invite once they're gone.
Yeah, we will get you back on as soon as you. We will make sure you get back in. Let's put it that way.
Yep. I could remove them as speakers and bring them back up.
Maybe that could help.
Yeah, let me try this.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I got an error. Yep, I got an error message. Avery, I'm going to send that to you later on.